Hi, my name is Wayne Goldsmith and welcome to my special series on the soft skills of swimming coaching. You know, it's quite easy when you're a swimming coach or when you're a coach in any sport to be focused on the things you can see, things you can feel, things you can buy, even things you can download. It's really tempting, for example, to look at a piece of training equipment and say, well, that's going to give me the breakthrough that I'm really looking for. Or you can buy a book or go to a conference and sit there and take notes about training sets and repeats and favourite drills and so on. And look, all those things are very valuable and very important for coaches to know. However, I believe that the things that really matter the most are the things that are the hardest to see, the most difficult to measure, and the most intangible things. Things like commitment and confidence and courage, mental toughness, all those attributes and those qualities that we know are critically important are the most important. But they're difficult to see and very, very difficult to coach, or so you believe. So the focus of this series and my course, The Soft Skills of Swimming Coaching, the focus is very much on helping coaches to understand what it is about those soft skills that are so important and how to coach them. Today's podcast is about motivation. Now, over the years, I regularly get asked to come and talk to coaches and swimmers and to teams about the concept of motivation. I'll get a phone call and someone will say, Wayne, I noticed you're in town next week. Could you come and motivate my swimmers? Or if I'm working in football, the same thing. A coach will ring me up and say, Wayne, my athletes, my players are not motivated at the moment. Could you come and motivate them? And quite often I'll do those engagements and I really enjoy to do them. But the bottom line is they don't really work. You can't motivate someone to do anything that they don't really want to do. And the explanation that I have for this is a motivation is like a little fire that's in your chest, in your heart, in your mind. But motivation is that little segment of your body, of your spirit, of who you are, of your intellect. It's that little part of you that's flickering away. And that could be that somewhere within you is a motivation to go to the Olympic Games, or it could be to travel the world or become wealthy, or to have a happy family. It could be a range of things. But that motivation, there's a motivation for different things in different levels, different capacities inside all of us. And if you like, motivation is either a roaring fire, it could just be a little flicker. And when coaches come in and say, Wayne, would you visit my team? Would you come and work my team and motivate my players to achieve excellence or to be more than they could be, to realise their potential? Unless that flame is there somewhere flickering, it's not going to work. You can't motivate someone to do something that they don't already, to some degree, want to do. What we do as coaches and what we do as motivators, if you like, what we do as mental skills professionals, as performance coaches, what we do is we inspire. Now let's go back a little bit. What is coaching? Coaching is the art of inspiring change through emotional connection. Coaching is the art of inspiring change through emotional connection. Now let's talk about all that for a little while. Quite often when I talk to coaches, I say the critical skill that you need to have is to connect with and engage with the hearts and minds of your athletes. If you like, to understand them before seeking for them to understand you. Seek to understand before seeking to be understood. And the real art form of coaching is to connect and engage with athletes and understand them, and importantly, to understand what's motivating them, to understand their motivation. I like to tell a story about the old days versus the new days. The old days versus the new days. In the old days, it didn't matter if a swimmer wanted to represent their country, to win an Olympic gold medal, to get fit, whatever it is. If a swimmer came to a swimming program, the old way of doing things was to say to that swimmer, if you're here, you will do my program. My program is focused at being the best in the country, the best in the state, the best in the district, best in the world. But if you're here in this program, in this pool, regardless of your motivation, you will do a program and you will come along for the ride, come along on the journey to be successful, because that's what we do here. And that's the old way of thinking. No effort to really connect with, engage with the athlete. If you like, it was imposing our motivation, trying to impose what we wanted as coaches on the athletes. Now, those of you that are working with kids, who have got kids, particularly working with teenagers, will know that way does not work anymore. Now when kids come to the pool, coaches need to sit with them, stand, talk, meet with them and say, why are you here? What is your motivation for swimming? And if the kid says, look, coach, I just want to get in good shape, I do a lot of other things, I do triathlon, I do surf swimming, I do a bunch of stuff, then the coach says, you're very welcome here. And in fact, we've got a special program for people who want to get fit, want to get in shape. It's got some open water skills, and that's in lanes 1 and 2. The next swimmer comes in, might say, coach, look, I really like swimming, but I've got football, I've got a lot of study. I want to come along. I just don't have the time to fully commit, but I want to work on my speed and I want to stay in great swimming shape and maybe compete at some local meets. No problem, says the coach. If that's your motivation, if that's your ambition, if that's your fire, then in lanes 3 and 4, we've got a great, what we call our district and regional program. It's 5 times a week, and we really focus on skills and relays and sprint swimming. The next swimmer might say, coach, I dream about swimming, I love swimming, I'm connected to the sport, I've got posters of great swimmers all over the world, I know the world record, I know the state records, I know the national records, I know every split, I've got complete. Coach, I love swimming, and I'm driven by the possibility of going to the Olympic Games and representing my country. To that swimmer, they get the program that's designed to help deliver that standard and help them achieve their goals, realise their potential, because that's what's motivating them. What we've very much learned about motivation is it doesn't matter how motivated you are as a coach. Swimming is a partnership between coach and athlete, and no matter how motivated the coach might be to be an Olympic coach or to be a coach of a world record holder, unless the swimmers are similarly motivated, it's just not going to work. But now let's look at the concept of inspiration. We know that the way coaching really works, and the great coaches that I've worked with over the years all have this ability to listen to their athletes, to connect with them, to engage their hearts and minds, to get to know them, to understand them, and then from there inspire them, to touch their heart and mind and help them to believe that anything is possible. And when we talk about motivation, my message to coaches is very, very simple. Don't try to enforce or impose. Don't waste time doing what we call the fight and die for the flag routine. Don't try to force swimmers to be as good as you want them to be. Inspire them to be as good as they want to be. Inspire them to be all that they can be. Inspire them to believe and to dream that anything is possible in their lives. If you can do that, once you've got that capacity to connect, to engage, and to inspire, everything opens up, and the swimmer may be more receptive to thoughts and dreams and ambitions of being the best in the world. But the first stage is to build that relationship and seek to understand before being understood. So coaches, the next time you talk to someone about motivation, or you talk about the need to do a motivation talk, or bring in an old swimmer, or bring in a celebrity to do a motivation talk, save your money. They don't work. But what does work is great coaching. And great coaching is based on the art of inspiring change through emotional connection. Be better at connecting with, engaging, and inspiring your athletes, and they will achieve remarkable things. I hope you've enjoyed this podcast today. I hope you'll also enjoy my new course, my online e-learning course, The Soft Skills of Swimming Coaching, The Soft Skills of Swimming Coaching, which are available if you follow the link at the end of this audio.